So you want to be an owner-operator, do you?
You sure about that? Hey guys, today we want to talk about being an owner-operator. When you feel you're ready to be an owner-operator, when should you make the jump into being owner-operator? We get a lot of folks that ask us questions and they think that they're ready to be owner-operators, but after
talking with us, they really aren't ready for being owner-operators, you know. Anybody can go out and just buy a vehicle and come out here and start running. Sure, you're going to make money. Do you have the business sense to be able to stay in business? You know, are you going to last the hard times? Are you going to make it through the slow times? Are you going to make it through economic crashes? Freight is not always good. It depends on how the economy's doing. If the economy ain't doing good, a lot of times freight ain't moving as much. To be an owner-operator and be successful for the long haul, you really got to take some things under consideration and, you know, practice some things.
That's why we always recommend that you should drive for an owner first. Before you jump into purchasing a vehicle, no matter what kind of vehicle it is, one, you need to learn the business. If you've never been out on the road, you need to track your numbers, know how to track your numbers, know what money's coming in, going out. Even though you don't own that vehicle, that is all things you need to know. You're still running a business. Just because you don't own the vehicle and are making a truck payment doesn't mean you're not going to have expenses, and you need to know what those expenses are and what money's coming in and going out.
I talked to a team a couple weeks ago. You know, they drive cargo van now. They've been driving for an owner. They do all the right things. They stay out long periods of time. When they do go home, they don't stay home long. They know where the good freight areas, all that good stuff. They're on the right track. But then I asked them, well, what is it costing you guys to run per mile? And what is fuel costing you guys per mile, and what's your average pay gross for all miles? And they just couldn't answer any of those questions. Those are important numbers to know. If you want to be a true successful, run it like a business, you have to start tracking those numbers, and there's no better time to start learning how to do that than when you're driving for an owner. Our first year when we first started, what did we do? We saved receipts, I think, at the most, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean,
You kept track of it a little bit, but we didn't know what things were costing us. We didn't know, you know, we saved our receipts.
We knew we had to save receipts for tax purposes, for write-offs, for expenses. We weren't really tracking our numbers, though. We didn't know what actual money was going out, what was coming in, what our profit and loss was, basically. Right.
And, you know, I didn't know what fuel cost us per mile. I had an idea, but I didn't know exactly how much we were spending. Mm-hmm. And back when the first year we started, that was back when fuel was costing $4.50 a gallon, you know. I mean, fuel was high back then. Mm-hmm. We took our first year to learn the business. Yeah. Learn how to deal with the dispatchers, how to get our loads, what areas to go to, what not go to, fuel, how to sleep in the truck while it's rolling down the road. Everything about the business, you know, how we figured out our driving schedules that work best for us, and how to shop for fuel. And you know, then the second year she had really gotten into tracking the numbers, at least on a spreadsheet. You know?
Yeah, I did like an Excel spreadsheet.
Yep.
Which was okay. I mean, it still didn't break down everything for us. Right. It didn't break it down to how much we were spending per mile on everything, expenses and all of that.
Right. Then we came across the profit gauges, and oh my gosh, that has been... That's the easiest and coolest thing ever. Yeah. During that time, you know, we spent a lot of time listening to what other owner-operators were doing. Not copying what they were doing, but, you know, learning problems that the owner-operators have, learning the ins and outs of business ownership, you know, for everything, to listen to economy talk radio, to how the economy's doing, listening to trucking radio, just immersing ourselves into every single little bit of knowledge that we could obtain about trucking, not just what is expediting and where's the good and bad freight areas are and what am I making per mile. You want to learn every single little bit about it. By all means, we are not experts. You know, we are still constantly learning, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's still things now as owner-operators we have yet to do for our business. Point being is that there's still things that we are learning even now.
Even now, yeah. And we never stop trying to learn. And I think that's what makes a successful owner-operator, at least. You know, you're constantly trying to learn as much as you can. Business, what's business doing? Tracking your numbers is the most important.
I think that's the number one thing that you need to do. Work, even when you drive for an owner, you need to have that down before you buy a vehicle and drive for yourself. Because if you don't know your numbers, how are you going to be successful?
Right.
Any business, not even in trucking or expediting, any business.
Yeah.
Any business to be successful, you have to know what money's coming in, how much is going out,
and what it's going out to.
Yeah.
You know, what is each thing costing you?
Yeah. Anytime we ever get contacted and somebody is saying, "Hey, I'm interested in getting into this. I want to buy my own vehicle," and I always cringe because those people, not that they wouldn't be successful, it's just that's a very scary thing. You've never been out here before, you've never done this, and you want to go spend, even for the least expensive vehicle, a van, let's just say, even a used van, you know, you're putting money out there on something you have no idea of what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, it just makes sense to drive for an owner first. And that doesn't mean you have to drive for an owner for 4 years like we did. A lot of people drive for an owner for a year, then they go out and buy their own vehicle.
Right.
That's all relative to how you want to do it. And I'm not saying that people who just go out and buy a vehicle straight away aren't successful either.
We've known people who have done it, but for most people, I mean, you really got to practice some business sense. You know, if you've never really tracked numbers before or really know how to pinch the pennies, tracking the numbers lets you know, what am I spending per mile on fuel? Can I make that lower? What are we spending on insurance? Can we shop that and find lower insurance? It really gives you a sense of, say you make $1.50 a mile, how much of that $1.50 do you get to keep?
Yeah.
You know, how much goes towards your business? How much do you get to keep? And
are you making a profit? Are you breaking even? Are you losing money?
Right.
You know, you may be taking loads at $1.30 a mile thinking, wow, I'm making all this money. But until you sit down and break it down, okay, well, I paid this much in fuel. I had to get an oil change this week. It was X amount of dollars. And you look at it and we're like, wow, I didn't make any money.
I had to deadhead home because we had an emergency in the family.
All important things to know.
That costs you money. You know, those miles cost you money. People always ask, why do you guys drive 62 miles an hour? Well, the main reason is because it saves us money on fuel. But not only does it save us money on fuel, it saves us money on maintenance. Because wear and tear. If you drive 70 miles an hour all the time, your wear and tear is going to be a lot greater than if you drive 62 miles an hour. So while the fuel is the upfront cost that you see, the maintenance side of it is the long-term kind of savings that you see. And that's something we've learned over the 4 years that we drove for an owner. Now, not everybody has to do 4 years. On Expeditors Online, most people recommend at least a year.
Yeah.
And take that time to practice being an owner. You know, tracking the numbers. Can you drive 62 miles an hour? You know, can you do the best you can to save as much fuel as possible?
Drive that vehicle like it's your own. Like you own it, like it's your business, because it is your business. You are in a business partnership with an owner. You're not working for an owner, you're in a partnership. So run it like it's your business. You're a business partner with your owner. Think of it like that.
And for like us, our owner made 40% of the line haul miles. We called that 40% a truck payment.
truck lease.
Yeah, it was called a truck lease in our trekking,
Yeah.
and then it gave us an idea. We knew exactly to the penny how much we made that owner each year, you know, and to the penny what we made, and to
that's
the penny.
important, I think, to know too.
Yeah, it's good to know.
It opens your eyes to say, "Wow, I'm making this owner this much money."
Right. When you see, and then you know how much he made, then you can take that number and say, well, can I make a truck payment out of this? Can I pay for insurance out of this? How much would be left over after that? After paying all those things out of what the money you made him. And, you know, it really opens your eyes. It makes sense, you know. Then you know, yes, it's time for me to become an owner-operator.
Right.
Everybody learns at their own pace. We got complacent and were, you know, kind of stagnant for a little bit, and I think that's why we really needed to make the move, is because we felt stagnant. We weren't really progressing anything, and it was really time for us to become owner-operators, to progress to the next level and try to learn even more.
Yeah.
Of how
Which we are still learning.
Absolutely.
Every week, and even now with a new carrier, there's just so much we're learning and still have left to learn.
I'm constantly keeping track of what's going on in the trucking industry as a whole. How is transportation in our country handling? You know, is it holding up? Is freight good? How is the rate? I track all of that, and it really helps me understand how to run my business better and how we can be more profitable. So, I mean, to be the absolute best you want to be, you just have to immerse yourself into the trucking industry. Every aspect about it. Even if you're just going to be driving a cargo van, you're in the business of transportation, try to learn everything about it you can. There's so much to learn, not just where the good areas and bad areas are and what's a good rate to haul for. We hope this kind of helps make sense.
Kind of gets you thinking about, if you are thinking about getting at her, or you're already out here with an owner and wanting to make the move into being an owner operator. Hope it gets you thinking about that, really thinking about it, and not rushing into it.
Start listening to trucking radio. Go on to Expeditors Online and read the blog section over there. Oh my gosh, what a wealth of knowledge. Wealth of knowledge those people have, and it seems like so many people just go to the forum section and forget about the blog section. So make sure you guys check out the blog section on Expeditors Online. Very good information, you know, and listen to what they have to say. Even if the title just don't make sense to you, read it anyway.
Yeah, learn. That's how you learn.
Because even by the time you finish the whole blog, it might not make sense then, but later on something will kick and you'll be like, hey, wait a minute. I read something about that on Expeditors Online. I understand it now, you know, and then it comes to you and it makes sense.
The homepage on EO has so much information, like Jason said. If you all have any questions, you know, you can always contact us several different ways. Leave a comment down below, send us an email, contact us through our website. All of our links to contact us are always in the description down below. We are always here to help with what we can, and if we don't know the answer, we'll guide you to where we think you can get the answer. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing, and until our next video, peace, love, and expediting.